This week I'm reviewing the Redtiger F77. First of all, the significance of this, the F77, is that it comes with this. This is the hardwire kit for parking mode. Have a quick look at that first. Frankly, a parking pack is not all that exciting. It's got a couple of things that fit into what look like the fuse box, a tool, some more things that fit into the fuse box, so I don't know, an in and an out. This will explain it. Some mounting tape, and this little box, and then that has a USB plug which plugs into the outlet. The reason that's all important is if you try and use this without, you will finish up in strife, because it will flatten your 12-volt battery overnight, and you'll go down to start it next day and you won't have any car. You can see in the box that it's got two 4K ultra clear cameras, 5 GHz Wi-Fi with GPS, and built-in 128 gig electronic memory. It does allow for sharing, but keep in mind you can't use Wi-Fi when it's connected to your car, because if you're using CarPlay, as I am now, you can't use Wi-Fi to the Redtiger. The other thing is that mostly you can't go Wi-Fi and have it recording at the same time. And I'm really pleased to see that they've given lots of electrostatic mounts, and you use those to attach to the glass first before you put the actual camera on, which means it can just peel it off. Oh, this camera is really nice. I'll take all the plastic off in a minute, but that's the mount. Oh, the mount that you stick to the electrostatic plastic, and then you slide the camera over the top, like so. And that means that you can take this camera off and take it upstairs. Likewise for the rear camera, that is a really beautiful, and I like the design. I like that this has got just this little bit of raised plastic out over the camera. Gives it a slightly futuristic look. And again, it's the same sort of mount, like so. All right, I have everything installed now. Bear in mind, this is just a demonstration. It's not how I'd install the cameras normally. I've just plugged it in at the front, and you can see it wants a little bit of setup before we get going. I've got the cables very temporarily set up, going all the way to the little back camera, which is way back here. Because these things are so hard to reposition, I suggest dry fitting them where you think you're going to want them in the first place. This camera, for example, could go right up top, and the same with the back one. I like the settings, everything's really easy. I've muted it, and you'll notice here is the back camera. I like that a lot. I hope you can see it. And it's showing over here in the corner that both cameras are recording. I'm getting some warnings from the Redtiger system. Oh, that's a very pretty effect. Wow, that's really picking up the colourful ceiling in the tunnel. The same with all of these cameras. All of the extra features they have are all well and good, but at the end of the day, what you want to see is really clear video. If you can't see really clear video, they're completely useless to you. And it's got to be day and night. I've been impressed with the Redtiger. I think its picture quality is reasonably good. Now bear in mind what you're seeing, although yes, this does film in 4K, The film we produce for YouTube is only 1080p. That's pretty sharp. So you can Wi-Fi your Redtiger to your phone, but you can't watch it live. You've got to be disconnected from Wi-Fi in order for it to record. And it's the same with almost all dash cams. They can't do two things at once. Actually, I'm not quite sure why they can't do two things at once. I've been living with it for a little while now, and the Redtiger definitely has some quirks, some good and some not so good things. So I had a fiddle with it last night to see if I could finally get, for example, the time sorted out. It sorted out first go. I plugged it into USB power at home and it just worked first time. Also, I needed a list of the voice commands. The voice commands were already switched on, but you know, I couldn't actually use them because I didn't know what they were. Show rear camera. Show front camera. Lock recording. So it was doing a lot of things that it hasn't been doing simply because I had to experiment with it. And I didn't find the user guide that helpful. There are some buttons under here, but I found the on-screen menu much easier to use. So go into there and you can see that there's settings and you scroll through those. The random beep I was getting yesterday was the fatigue monitor. There are a couple of quirks. For example, above the on and off button, there is a SD card slot, but you can't record straight through it. So you've got to copy the video across to the SD card, which takes forever, or you have to take the whole unit out and plug it into your laptop. Now you can see I've just got this in temporarily. Ideally, I'd have it sort of mounted up here, and you can see that the cables would be difficult to get in and out. And this is a slide off mount, which is really, really difficult to get at with the cables plugged in. And you can see the back unit just there. Now that was just in a test spot, and you see from the video from yesterday's accident, and I'll play it again, where this bike ran into the back of that Honda behind me, and then about a minute later made off down the wrong side of the Harbour Bridge in peak hour traffic. What an absolute bell end. So let's have a look at that one more time. The Accord Euro, not Camry as I say in the footage, is hit behind by those two jokers on the bike. Now they only stopped because they hit the guy's bumper bar, and I could hear it from inside the car. The man gets out in peak hour traffic on the Harbour Bridge. What absolute mayhem. He's not supposed to do that, they're supposed to get off the bridge. But there you have it. There you go, people. We actually got our first crash caught on dash cam. That bike ran up the back of the Camry. The Camry that tried to cut in. And by the way, the time on the video is wrong because I was in the wrong time zone. Wait for it. I thought he had a disabled sticker too. He was out of that chair pretty fast. Here they come. But that just goes to show you. Behind this car, that's the bike that crashed into the back of the Honda. No indicators, just changes. Nearly collects a ute on the way through. Nearly swerves into the oncoming traffic. Yeah, this is Crash Guy. This is the hero that... Jesus! This is the hero that hit the Honda. MLN 43. And the number plate was pretty badly creased. He nearly crashes into another Ranger or Toyota or whatever that is, and off he goes in peak hour traffic. I could hardly believe my eyes. Riding down the wrong side of the Harbour Bridge is bad at the best of times, but in peak hour, do you know what? You're a complete and utter fool. Anyway, the limitations of this are Wi-Fi pretty much useless unless you want to do an update, and you can't use Wi-Fi on your phone if you're using CarPlay. So I would just set that up and leave it and never speak of Wi-Fi again. There's absolutely no need for it unless you want to do an update. Next, the picture quality is superb, but you can see there's no stamps along the bottom for speed, etc. I've got the GPS and speed stamp activated, however, it doesn't show up live on screen. It's not particularly important. You want that on the recording when you show police or share your video online or whatever. I personally like to have it, and I make sure that that's the speed that I'm not exceeding, because the GPS speed is much more accurate than your car's speedo generally. The video quality is superb. You can select a lower quality if you like, and it will fill up less of the onboard memory. If you do want to do an emergency recording, you've got to bring up the menu and press that lock button. And here's what it looks like on the actual recording. You can see all of the data is there, ready for you to hand over. So do I think it's value? Yes, the quality is superb. The unit itself looks nice. I would make sure that I fitted it in a correct spot. And the higher your camera is mounted, the better view it's going to have.